Hello?
We need to talk.
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 Happy New Year, 2021. Welcome back to We Need to Talk, episode number 94, first episode of 2021. And I am on jailbreak. This is my first episode since being off of quarantine. I went to ATL over the break. And the quarantine rules are pretty strict for Canada, and they're getting stricter, actually. I did not have corona. I was very healthy. But whether positive or negative, it was mandatory quarantine for 14 days, which was fine. But the stages and the requirements they made for it were a little extreme. I had to call and check in on a phone number every single day. They would call me every single day to make sure I'm home. And then I also had to fill out a questionnaire every morning. I get an email every morning as a reminder to fill out the questionnaire. And if I leave my house for any reason, there's a $5,000 fine. And someone may or may not come by my house to check on me. Isn't there better ways to use our dollars? Isn't there better ways?
I don't know. You think so?
Oh my God. Like, I get it. I get it if you A, have tested positive for corona.
Yeah.
And B, if you know if you're just running around the city for doing nonsense, but like to not even do anything for groceries, and it's been confirmed that you don't have any symptoms or any virus, and you were clear for it, it's a little extreme to call you every day to make sure you're home and make you check every day, and then a $5,000 fine if you're not home for any particular reason. Yeah. I could even go for a walk. I can do anything.
I think if you come back and you test negative, then you shouldn't have to quarantine.
That's
how I feel.
That's how I feel.
I felt that way from the jump, but unfortunately, it's not set up that way. I don't know.
I think they also released a statement saying like they're banning all travel, period, even within Canada. I think I heard.
I don't know about if it's within Canada, but I know the border stuff, like they're trying to hunker down on that.
Like something about like no traveling for spring break or anything, because everyone's gonna try and leave. Everyone's gonna try and leave.
I had a discussion the other day with some of my friends about this, and I think we're at a point in quarantine where it's like, look, I think whatever people need to do to make themselves happy, go ahead. Like if you want to travel
for your mental health, like
if you want to travel, sure. My only thing with the travel shit is it depends where you go and what you do. Like I want to go to a beach. I would 1,000%.
You want to go to Tulum like everybody else?
Here's the thing. I would 1,000% go to Mexico. Go to Tulum.
That's where everyone is.
But the thing is, I don't see the point in going to a place like Tulum to just be surrounded by
everyone else.
Yeah. I don't need because what I miss right now is traveling. I miss being able to I miss going to the beach. I miss being in the hot sun. I don't miss being in a club per se with hundreds of people, and
you'd actually be going to Tulum and just seeing everyone from here.
That's what I'm saying. Which is fucked. And I think that it would
let's all meet up in Tulum.
Yeah, for what? Like I don't want to be miserable with you there too. Right. So for me, I just think that, if you travel, like cool, just don't. I would probably not post it, I think.
Like if that you were there?
Yeah, especially if I went to Tulum. If I went to Tulum, you're never knowing that I went to Tulum. Because it's going to be too many assumptions that are made. Like
someone would just take a picture of you and tag you.
Dog, Tulum looks too reckless for me.
It does.
It looks reckless. I understand people are upset. They're tired of it. But it's like, bro, maybe not put that on social media. Because like, it might be an extreme. But, a lot of these countries, they survive off of tourism. Right. But they also don't have an infrastructure set up to deal with
an increase of virus.
Yeah.
You guys just bringing the virus.
I mean, we certainly are having struggles with it.
Right.
Western societies are. So what makes you think these small little Caribbean, Latin American countries
and thousands of people bringing it there. Bringing it there.
It reminds me of Christopher Columbus traveling the earth and just bringing viruses to
just touching everything.
For real, bro. Like, does it? I know that's extreme, but
and then they just cut back home.
Do you not kind of see that?
Of course. Everyone around the world right now, mostly North American places, US and Canada, are traveling to Tulum, traveling to Miami, traveling to Dubai. Yeah. These places.
Dubai's fine. Dubai has so much money. Like, they're not.
Oh, no, they're fine to handle it. I mean, but if we're talking about like infrastructure wise, yeah, Mexico's probably the least
big time.
But I mean, they're all going to these different places and bringing their potential virus to those places, partying for a week, whatever, and then going back home, leaving that virus on everyone that they've met while they're there, and flying back to Canada,
and potentially bringing it back here,
and bringing whatever back.
Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get me wrong. If for whatever reason, and I didn't know this, let's say you went to Mexico, Tulum, and it was mandatory that you were getting checked, right? Like, let's say they were like, you're gonna get tested every 2 days while you're here.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have the virus,
they lock you up.
We're locking you up. But if you don't, enjoy the party.
Yeah.
Right. That's a different story.
I would take it.
That's a different story. I'd be like, oh, okay.
At least you know everyone's getting it.
So I know everyone's getting tested.
Right.
But that's definitely not what's happening. Dude, you know when you're scrolling through IG, sometimes you get the so-and-so's on live. Yeah. There's this girl, some model that I follow from the States, in her 20s. And
in Tulum?
No, she's from the States, but like, I was clicking through stories, so I accidentally clicked on her live, and she's at some beach like restaurant, right? And she's just she's literally just like dancing in front of the camera at this table. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I see bare people in the comments. They're just like, yo, we're never getting out this COVID shit, because like they're just bare people at this place.
We don't know where she is.
No, it turned out to be Tulum. But then she turns the camera around, right, to look at the other girls at the table. And of course, it's other like
influencers,
IG model chicks that I recognize.
Oh, you know them?
I don't know them personally, but I recognize them. Yeah. I'm like, yo, like
they're all there.
All these people are there, bro. Like, it's not even a thing where it's like, oh, I'm missing out.
No,
it's more so, yo, do you guys not know we're in a pandemic? Like, because I want to get away,
of course.
But if I go away with people, it's gonna be people that I know,
right?
And definitely not with like hundreds of other people that I can't control. You know what I mean? Like, can't do it.
Oh man,
just can't do it.
Well, welcome to 2021, Zamore and Ryan. We already started off on hell.
Yeah,
we're 3 weeks into January already. This is our first episode, so we haven't even been able to discuss anything that's happened. The nonsense at Capitol Hill. We have a new president now. What else has happened? Kobe's 1 year is tomorrow. I
think so, yeah.
Say the 25th or 24th today?
25th.
So tomorrow, 25th. Kobe's 1 year. Even that being 1 year is what? Like 1 year already?
Yeah. 2 months from now, it'll be 1 year of COVID.
Oh my God. 1 year of COVID?
2 months, bro.
Yo, what is going on?
Not even a month, basically a month and a half.
Where are we right now? What is going on?
Every day is Groundhog Day.
Like
every day is Groundhog Day.
Have you taken a second to just sit and like process the fact that we're never going back to what we thought was normal? Like, have you ever sat and like processed like, for the foreseeable future, as long as we can keep this up or whatever, the concept of a massive stadium full of people, the concept of OVO Fest, the concept of caravan and winding on just things from and grabbing whatever, the concept of humans shoulder to shoulder in packs and waves, Danforth Festival, like anything with like a lot of people, like that shit's dead for a while. Like, we're in whatever this is, we just have to adjust to this. Like, I've got to a point where I'm like, okay, if this is what it is, how do I adjust and utilize my skill sets in this new space? And if it does get better eventually, then even better. Yeah. But have you adapted to the point like, okay, this is just what it's going to be, and I'm going to process my mind to adjust to just being in this? And if it does get better, then hey,
you know cool. What? I don't think I have.
You're still hopeful, do you think?
No. You know what it is? I don't think I have, because even though things are so drastically different, I've been like pretty busy in comparison to a lot of people who have had their lives literally like rocked by COVID. So where it hasn't hit in with me is the fact that some people have just been by themselves at home the entire time and they don't go out. Like they barely see anyone. And that to me is scary, right? And for them to think to themselves, yo, like this is the new norm, I get it. I think for me, I think it'll really sink in on my birthday. Because I expect COVID to be here in full force by March. And I think it'll sink in when I realize that, oh shit, last year, a week after my birthday, COVID hit us. And I'm back here again.
Here I am again.
You know? Like, it's fucked. Yo, everything about this situation is fucked. The fact that we've been in it for a year. What other scenario have we ever been in life that has just literally dictated how the world moves for a full year? Nothing in this modern time.
Yeah.
Nothing in this modern time. Like there's been things that have happened in other countries, like relating to war and all these types of things, but nothing that's literally affected the entire planet. You know how wild that is to say? The entire planet has been affected by this one thing. This one thing.
For a year. And it's not only going to be a year.
There's going to be a fall.
It's not like it's going to tap out that year. Oh, okay.
No, there's going to be a fallout. Like, so after, I think, quite honestly, we won't see anything going back to remotely being normal until 2022.
If that.
That's conservative.
Yeah.
Conservatively, I think 2023 is when we're like, I bet things are good again. But 2022 is when I think things are. That's when I think things will start to be like, all right, we're slowly getting back into the rhythm of things.
Because the problem isn't the virus. The problem is the people.
Do you see that thing I retweeted earlier?
What? No.
So this person was talking about Wuhan, right?
Yeah.
And what this person said was, I'm really confused on how the people of Wuhan live completely normal again with no vaccines, while us Americans can't even get the spread under control and we have vaccines, right? And this girl says, when China told them to stay in their house, they didn't fly to Hong Kong for a zoo and hookah. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true. They listened.
They weren't. They didn't say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go to Singapore and have some Henny on the beach."
True.
They never said that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, that's why this shit's not anywhere close to being normal again. I understand we live is geographically like all this stuff. At the end of the day, it boils down to the people. I have this same fucking conversation every single week with a few of my friends, right? And it's talking about, well, you can't really compare
control them.
No, they're like, you can't compare us to countries like Australia and New Zealand and all these stuff. Geographically, they're just set up different. Yeah, I'm aware. But if last year, when COVID first hit, if the government has said, all right, if they said we're shutting down the borders completely, there's going to be no travel in and out at all.
Period.
They kind of did that, and they try to like skirmish it by saying essential work and all types of stuff. But if they said, literally, if you're not a fucking trucker, you have to go across the border.
I don't care.
You're not doing shit.
Yeah.
And everyone else, we're locking down for like the next 2 months. Testing everyone.
I see my mom. Don't care.
Testing everyone. Figure out what we're gonna do. If they did that, even back then, maybe things would have been different. But you know what would have for sure still happened? You still would have had people saying, "Fuck you." I'm gonna go do what I want to do. Fuck you. That's what he would have said, bro.
Yo, like,
because it's the people here. Our mentality is too different. We have a distrust in the government because of like things that have happened in history. Yes. But also, people just don't like to listen here. They really don't.
This is the only. I can say this is the only I'll say it. This is the only downfall of democracy. Because otherwise I don't mind it.
What, you don't mind democracy?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, but
I think this is the only downfall of it.
No, there
and
needs
it's being
to be
exposed right now. Like why democracy is
doesn't work.
fucked.
Like, here's the thing, because when it comes to government shit, but when it comes to politics, first off, this last year showed me. I always felt this way, but this last year kind of proves to me I would never want to be in a position of power right now.
Making decisions.
There's no way, because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? And I've always been of the belief that, you know, the whole two-party system thing, democracy, Republican, conservative, liberal, whatever you want to call it, it almost needs to be a mixture of a bunch of things in order for it to work. But there's a time and place where, you know, government or people in general have to put their foot down. You know, and when you live in a world where you say, all right, you can do whatever you want, as long as you don't break any laws, you can do whatever you want, you're gonna get pushback.
Right.
But think about it, when you're growing up at home, you didn't live in a democracy in the house.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
I didn't live in a democracy. If anything, it was a dictatorship.
100%.
Like, it's like, these are my rules.
It's because I said so.
Because I said so. You're gonna follow these rules because I said so.
Right.
Because I have your best interest at heart.
Right.
That's it. And did you question it? Maybe sometimes, but regardless,
Still did it.
I still did it.
I wouldn't get no virus in my house.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
So
if your mom's like, you're not going out,
So
well, hey.
I think this shit has put a lot of things into perspective. You know, I think the way that people need to start voting differently come next term. I feel sorry for any of the politicians that are in power right now, because they're gonna have a hard time getting reelected.
What could anyone have done differently with this setup?
I genuinely think the only thing that could have been done differently is the government straight up not being so, what's the word?
Lenient?
Ambiguous with their restrictions. Because now
there's so much confusion.
Because what you just said, right? Like, you've come back, you are on lockdown for 2 weeks, and you're like, some of the things
don't make sense.
Either don't make sense or they're actually very strict.
Right.
In the beginning, it was not like that. You could travel and you could come back, and people would chill for maybe like 2-3 days and go back out.
Right.
The rules in the beginning were very ambiguous.
The rules keep shifting, and that's what
they keep saying the same thing in different ways.
Right.
This man before came out and was like, "Yo, this is a state of emergency." I'm like, fam, I'm reading this message while I'm in line at a coffee shop.
Do you know this?
What state of emergency is this?
Bro,
what is he talking about?
Do you know what even when I got that fucking message on my phone?
Yeah.
And we all got fucking Amber Alert. They Amber Alerted the fucking state of emergency. If you actually understand, like in a communist country per se.
Oh, you get that message. It's different.
A state of emergency means if I see you on road. A state of emergency literally means if I see you on road, I may or may not shoot you.
Yeah, there's problems. You're gonna get shot or you're going to jail.
It's literally go inside.
Yeah.
If I ask you twice, I'm shooting a pellet at you. Like that is
right in the neck.
That is the only state of emergency means like, oh, lock your door, nobody. Like this is. Those roads should be dead. Yeah. Cars should be parked. You should be hopping on your whip right now and just going into the closest building. Like, it's not like state of emergency, but grocery stores are open, Walmart's are open, Home Depot's are open, Canadian Tire's are open. You can still get gas. It's like, okay, so what if I just say I'm getting gas? What if I just say I'm just getting groceries?
Yeah,
but I'm on my way to my friend's house. Like,
Ryan, this is the problem. Like, the reason why this is what I was saying. The government, they're tiptoeing around a lot of things. It's because they know, and I know that there's no way that they can tell people this side of the world exactly what you just said. Because you're gonna have too many people that are gonna say, "What the fuck? Like you're infringing on my rights." Yeah. But it's like, fam, we don't understand this shit. Like, we're not controlling it properly. The whole point of it is because the government, in a lot of ways, is no different than a parent treating a kid. They know that I have to enforce certain rules because I can't trust you to do it.
I have you running wild.
They've said so many times, we're leaving this up to the public. We're putting in these rules, but the rest is up to you.
Right.
Meanwhile, other countries in the world are like, nah.
You don't get choices.
You don't get a choice. What are you talking about?
Imagine giving your kid a choice. Imagine having a kid and being like, you do what you want to do in your home. You'd have fucking crayons over your fucking wall.
Yeah.
Like,
You probably would.
like what?
You definitely would. You find shit on the couch.
Leave it up to the kid. That's what you're essentially doing.
In the middle of
our public.
In the middle of a pandemic, bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, there's just too many weird things they're not saying, not doing. Like, if they, as mad as people are about the whole, CERB thing, like the amount of money the government's been giving out and like businesses not getting money, all this type of shit, really telling people to stay the fuck home and not leave for like 2 months last year, that probably would have worked if they actually made sure that, for example, businesses were like financially good.
Right.
Because then people and companies and people still got money. People would have been more at ease. But now I think we've just reached a point where there's too much.
People don't care now.
They don't care because they don't trust anything the government's saying. It's like, I think I know the virus is a real thing. I know it's a problem. I am aware that I'll be fine if I get it, most likely. The hard decision that people aren't willing to accept right now is, it's at a point now where they have to say, all right, we're going to let things open back up within reason. Kind of like those other lockdowns we had before.
Yeah.
We're going to let things open up within reason.
Like a slow roll.
But what we're not going to do, people who are in these affected areas, they shouldn't be allowed. They can't go out. So what you're essentially doing is just saying, like, some of you are good and some of you aren't. And even then, people are going to have issues with that. I'm fine with that. And maybe I'm fine with that because I'm selfish, because I know I'm within the region. But like,
they're going to be like, what about me? Like,
they're going to be like, well, okay, look, are you immunocompromised? Are you elderly? Do you work in like one of those homes? What about kids who go to school? Like, these are things that people have to actually come to terms with and say, all right, am I cool with having my freedoms if it means that this group can't have their freedoms for X amount of time till
nobody cares about anybody else.
There you go. There you go.
They don't.
There you go. But you have to. But these are the hard choices. You know, Lauren was telling me too, like how, I think like sometime last year, she just gave the example of seeing her grandparents, right? And she said, look, if I was to make the decision to see my grandparents, then I'm aware that it means that I have to block myself off from my actual friends
in order to allow that
for a little bit. Right. I have to make that choice. But a lot of people aren't doing that. And a lot of people aren't even a lot of people are talking shit, bro, about taking this shit seriously. I know that they are. And you want to know how I know that they're fucking taking it seriously? Not taking it seriously? Because of now being single. I know this because, and I'll explain why.
I know.
I'll explain why from my point of view, right? Since I've been single, girls have asked to go on dates, right? And I know, as much as I I'm training and I'm like still working on sets, I've probably gotten tested more times than the majority of people, because a lot of the sets I've been on recently
require it.
They require it, right? So these people are like, yeah, like I'm just trying to like take it seriously. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, when's the last time you got tested? Oh, I haven't got tested yet.
Yes, but like you're out here going on dates and like asking people to go on dates and maybe sleeping with people, but you want me to think that you're serious about this? Fuck out of here. You're not serious about this. What are you talking about? You just want some dick. Like, yet. You know what I mean? I haven't got tested yet. Stop lying. Like, stop this whole charade. You know what I mean? Just say that you are kind of afraid. No, just say I don't care either. I don't care. I'm pretending for the gram. Exactly. Just say it. Like, shut up. And tell me. Like, honestly, if you don't say to me, you actually are concerned about the virus and that you care about it, you don't want to get other people sick, but you haven't gone and got tested once, not even once in the past year. How? It's been out. So you're telling me you've been on road, you've gone on dates, you're on these dating apps. I never got around to it, and you haven't been tested once. I never got around to it. What are you talking about? I tried, but the lines. I'm not crazy, right? Like, that sounds stupid. No, doesn't it? It's not crazy. This is the world we're living in, and unfortunately, the government lost the public. They lost the public, and that's the scary thing, that they lost the public, and this is gonna get a lot worse before it gets better.
Like they already had. The government was already behind the 8 ball with the public,
right?
You know, like there was already a certain level of distrust, but they fucked up by not asserting dominance when the time was needed.
Like now, I can't take you seriously now.
Thank you. If Ford came out tomorrow and was like, everything lock off,
people would laugh.
They'd be like, yeah, okay, buddy.
They'd be outside on this porch.
They'd be like, okay, buddy, sure. You and what army? Who's gonna stop me?
But yeah, honestly, guys, this is just what it is.
Crazy times.
This is just what it is.
Crazy times.
Let's get into the question. We had a lot of responses.
Yes, we did. So, question,
if we can get through them all, let's try. But
yeah,
there's a lot.
Question for this week was: what are some things you learned about yourself after your last breakup? Are they positive or negative attributes? Okay, so I'll read some of the responses here. Christina,
I like the honesty, guys.
Yeah, I got some DMs too that were like, very, very open. Christina said, emotional awareness on both sides makes difficult conversations easier to digest and builds mutual respect. This makes it easier for both of you to move forward after. I'd agree with that. The afterwards part, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I would definitely say that. Because me and my ex, like, we were basically breaking up for like 2-3 months.
Like a slow breakup?
Yeah, and it's crazy because we talked about this so many times on the podcast. Like, people break up for months. It just doesn't happen one day. So, but during that time, we were having so many conversations that when it officially happened,
you're like, I get it.
I already processed it like months ago. So I wasn't like super sad.
You're more like, oh, like this is the official thing.
No, I was like, this is official.
Okay.
It is what it is.
You just gotta sign the papers now?
Finance for the culture. She said, I was dating potentials, not solids.
I've been there. Can't do it.
Don't date potential.
We've all been there. We're just like, we hope, or we see a little bit in there. We're like, this could get better. Or just with time.
When you say don't date potential, right? Are you more so thinking of like dating someone who you know has flaws that may potentially fix, or is it someone that you know is going to be doing something big? Because
I'd prefer the latter.
Yeah, like I think
I'd prefer to date someone that I know could be bigger than they are or better than they are.
Yeah.
But in most cases, you end up with people that you know there's certain things that you don't like, and you believe with time it can improve.
Okay.
Which you're more banking on things getting better from a negative starting point rather than things getting better from an already positive standpoint.
Yes. You know
what I'm saying?
Yep, that makes sense.
I think that's the majority of cases. Like I'm sure there are people that you see someone with a little spark and you're like, yo, like this person's already good, but like I know they're not where they want to be yet, but I believe they can be. I feel like that's a smaller percentage of situations.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I know that a lot of people date. I think most people date potential in terms of
potentially what they could be for them.
Yeah.
You're close to what I'm looking for. Close.
Yeah.
Not yet, but you could be what I'm looking for.
And then that just presents so many other questions, right? Like, I don't think you're ever going to find everything in the one person.
No.
But, you know, at that point it's like, are you settling or not? Like, I don't know if you are. I don't know if you're just being realistic where you're like,
it's such a fuzzy line between settling and
being realistic, right? Like, I feel, man, I just don't know. I don't think it's possible to find someone that literally has every single thing, because I think that'd be wild. Like, I can't imagine it. I can imagine, like, and that's not to say that you can't end up with someone who's still satisfies you, like fulfills a lot of your things, makes you feel loved, makes you feel all these things.
Yeah.
But you could be my partner and I may still find one of my other female friends funnier than you. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna, or right. No one's gonna be everything. And but are you the most well-rounded? It's a better question.
Yes, it's who has the most common set of attributes that I'm looking for in totality.
Yeah.
Rather than who has the best kind of attributes I'm looking for.
That's true.
Right? Are you looking for, when you're trying to cast a movie, you're looking for someone who's the best at a particular role, or are you looking for someone who you can actually use in multiple areas to get a larger portion of work done? It's like, I can pay a big budget to get the best actor ever that's out there, but they can't. They refuse to do any other job. They're like, I'm the best actor, but I'm only doing this role. I will not sway for anything else. Yeah. So or you can find someone who has multiple skills in other areas. It's like, for a lesser budget, I can get more from this person, and maybe the movie might be better because they're actually, not only they're acting, but they're also helping with other actors, or also helping train some other people so that I don't have to work on other actors. Like, in the meantime, you know what I mean? They have the skill to teach as well. Maybe the best actor doesn't have the ability to teach, but they're the best quality actor. But now you have to spend more time on each other individual actor that you wouldn't have had if you had to, you know what I mean? So like, that's very true. You start to like evaluate, like, what's the greatest amount of impact I can get from a person for the least amount of work, per se. Yeah.
Fuck, that's really tough.
Fuck,
it's really tough, bro. Like, it's fucked. It is. It really is. Next one, Tyrell. He said that I can't control people's perception. If someone is determined to see you in a certain light, then what you do doesn't matter. I agree with that. You can say, you can literally look someone in the face and say, I don't like popcorn, and they'll go on Twitter and say, this nigga likes popcorn.
Don't get me started.
I know.
Don't get me started on Twitter right now.
Allison.
Oh my God.
She said, put yourself first. Because in the end, all you got is yourself. I told my exes when we first started dating, don't put me first, put yourself first. All your dreams and aspirations. And I still stand by it.
Read that one again. What?
So basically, she's saying that put yourself first,
right?
Because at the end of the day, all you got is yourself. I told my exes when we first started dating, don't put me first, put yourself first.
Oh, don't put her first.
Yeah. All your dreams. She said, don't put me first, put yourself first, all your dreams and aspirations. I still stand by it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I would never say put me first.
Yeah.
But there are actual women and men, but I'll say women as a man. There are actual women that want to be first. They want to be priority.
Absolutely.
And it's like, but those are difficult because they actually believe that's how it should be.
Yeah.
And it creates an argument because you're like, you're not first. It's like, well, as your woman, that should be. Well, no, no. Like, but sometimes you don't find that difference in priority until you're in it with somebody. So I think that's a really important question or important conversation to have with people. Like, where do you place me in your priorities? That's actually a question I've never asked.
That's true. Yeah.
Have you ever asked someone where do I place in your level of priorities? Explicitly ask them that? I've never asked someone.
I've never have, and I think it's one of those things where people like to
assume.
Like, we like to assume where people land in people's lives, right? And I think I will definitely start asking that question if I'm gonna date someone, because for me, I know that I don't want to be. It reminds me of like Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah,
he's saying like men. He's like, men just want you. The men want you around, but not really seen. He's like, I want to know that you're here, but like not bothering me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I feel like as I get older and I talk to like mature women or women that are older, my mind thinks, oh, I actually don't need to like be checking in on her all the time.
Yeah, because she's fine.
Yeah, she's good. Like, I don't need to check in. I don't.
You're just used to girls that require it.
Yeah, we can go the whole day without talking, and it's like cool.
And they hit you up like, "Yo, it's good," and you're like, "Oh, you're still fine."
Yeah, like you're not. This isn't some weird thing where you're like, "Oh, he didn't text me all day, so I'm not gonna text him."
Yeah, it's not a game.
Not a game at all.
Or a competition. Okay, so let's answer that question then. What is your top 3 hierarchy of priorities when it comes to being in a relationship? When you have a girlfriend, where does she land in priority based? What are your priorities based on family, work, spirituality, whatever, girlfriend, etc.?
Like, where does she land in that?
Yeah, like if you actually have a girlfriend, where do you put them in priority based on work, family, spirituality, whatever? Where does your girlfriend actually fit in real time?
I would say like pretty fucking high.
What's the order? With you. Top 3.
Yeah, I would say she's in the top 3.
But what is the actual order?
I would say it goes my work first.
Works first.
My work is first.
Always.
You didn't like me if it wasn't for part of my work. Like, that's facts. So.
Okay.
Work is first.
Is work before family?
That's a really tough one. I would almost say so because my relationship with my family is like not super tight.
Right.
You know, so like that's even something that going into like everyone has baggage or everyone has like some sort of shit going on, but that's something I'm also aware of going into dating now. Whereas like I have to explain to said woman, like I'm not really like super tight. Like my family's not super tight. And I have to say that early because it's like, is that going to bother you? It's like, are you a family person? Because if you are, like, I'm definitely the wrong dude like to date. Right. So I would say work and family are interchangeable. 1 and 2. Right. I probably go honestly, work first, family 2, my girl 3rd.
Okay.
And even then, girl and family are sometimes tied.
Okay.
It depends how long I've been dating you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like at a certain point, like honestly, my partners have known more about me than my family has.
Yeah.
There's certain things.
I mean, yeah, that's fact.
Right. So it's like
that's same for me. Yeah.
I don't really argue that. It's just I would say the work comes first because it allows me to do the things with you that you like. You know what I mean? Like
I'd say I agree, but I would say my work comes first for a different reason. But I do agree.
I mean, it's part of who I am. Like you can't ask me to put work on the back burner for you when this is what I've been doing, you know, and I'm going to continue doing it. So for you to insert yourself and say, hey, like I need more of this time, then you're not understanding the dynamic of our relationship, right? It should be made clear before we even date how important my work is.
Yeah. And
if you want to interject yourself into that, then we have problems.
Yeah, I think mine's pretty similar. I think mine would go work, girlfriend, then family. Only because and work for me is first because I know with or without you here, this shit's gonna get done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally with or without you, this gets done. If you're here, great. This has to get done. If you're not here, this still remains stagnant. So like it still remains in its position. So it's like you don't really impact my work. So work is first because with or without you, this train keeps going. You if I'm single, then family becomes second because there is no second. It just bumps up. But if I'm in a relationship, then the girlfriend becomes second and family goes to third. Only because truthfully, all my deepest and darkest secrets and my time and my accomplishments, whatever, goes to my girlfriend before it goes to my family.
Yeah.
I just know that in order based on how I am.
Yeah.
So, you know, but she'll never surpass work.
Absolutely. I'm on the same page. And I'd like to think it's the same in reverse. Like if I met a girl who like was so fine with allowing me to be
above her work,
above anything else she's doing, I'd be turned off.
Would you be turned off though?
Yeah, because after a while it would get too much. it's no different to me than when like a girl comes on too strong, like in the beginning.
Interesting.
Like too strong. I'm like, relax. Like, why? This is a red flag.
But some guys like that shit.
Yeah, those guys are sickos. Like, you know, you can't tell me it's not a red flag if someone comes on way too strong in the beginning. You got on one date and you're talking about, I wonder what our kids would be like.
Oh my God.
Like, excuse me. I know you've been there. Come on. Immediately, what do you do in your head when you hear that? The moment you hear that, what is your mind do?
I gotta go. I gotta go.
Leave.
I gotta go.
And it's the exact same thing for women.
So true.
I know this because I've spoken to them about it. The moment they hear a man talk about,
it's like, oh, this thing is crazy.
They're like, yo, what is wrong with this guy?
He's about to shoot the club.
He's to shoot up the club. Next one. She said, no matter how much you love someone and show them how much you care, once they're out the door, they're out the door. Also, people change and you have to learn how to adapt to that. Lastly, don't let anyone take you out of character. Don't beg. That's very true. Never move out of character. Don't do that. I definitely did that when I was like a youth, like one of my earlier relationships.
Acting different.
And you're like, then you look back years later and you're like, what the fuck?
Who was that guy?
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even recognize that guy. So you just never want to do that. Kathleen, she said, I learned to trust and be confident in my need to be unyielding, to compromise my mental well-being in exchange for the other person's comfort. That's a good one. I think a lot. This relates to something that my friend DM'd me, and it's, you know, a lot of people when they get in relationships, it's a whole compromise thing. Everyone compromises a little bit on certain things, but it's when you start to say, all right, I genuinely don't like this, but I'm just gonna like go along with it anyway.
For you.
And then eventually you know that it's affecting you, but you're like, I'm doing this for you. And then when shit doesn't work, you're like, why the fuck did I do this for you?
For you. Because I'm a simp.
Oh my God, bro. I think there's a time and place to be a simp, right?
I think what you're referring to is not a simp anymore.
No. Hold on. I think there's a time and place when you're in a relationship with your girl.
I don't think you're a simp.
I don't.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think if you're in a relationship, I don't think you can be a simp if you're in a relationship. This
is an actual sick debate topic because like I think
that's what I believe that.
Okay, so here's
I believe if you're dating someone, you are not a simp. You're being a boyfriend. You're being a boyfriend.
Hold on. You can be in a relationship with someone,
right,
and still exhibit simp behavior. That is like a little wild. There's like extremes to it.
Okay.
So when you say like, you know, give me an example of being a simp. Like when you're not in a relationship, what is being a simp?
So, for example, a woman making it very clear to you that A, she's interested in somebody else, or B, not interested in you, yet you're still messaging her every day, still asking for her number, still dropping hearts in her, still trying to flirt with her and not getting anything back.
Okay, so it's by that point, this is my definition of simp, right?
Okay.
A simp is when you treat someone as your highest priority and you're not even on theirs.
Right.
Right?
So how do you get that in a relationship?
So I think it can come up in a relationship when someone becomes like too overbearing, you know, with all the shit that they want to do. I've dated girls before where it hasn't been a long-term relationship, but I've dated girls where it's early and they're literally wanting to do everything like for me. And for me personally, it's like too much, like right away. It makes me look at you like,
that's your man, that's your girl. Like I
just started dating.
Yeah, but the thing, like, I get it.
Let me earn it. Like, don't fucking.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, like, I feel like once that line is drawn that you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend, there's no longer simp. It's just like how you show love is how you show love. Like if you want to go above and beyond and fucking cook for me and massage me, blah, like I can't be like, oh, you're my girl. Like, do the fuck you want. You're my girl. I made you my girlfriend.
Yeah.
You have full reign to wild the fuck out. If you want to suck my dick every day until I stop you, hey, dude, like I'm actually quote unquote yours currently right now, and vice versa. If I wanted to go nuts and be like, start buying you a bunch of shit, and you're like, no, chill. No, I'm buying for my girl. Like, if you have to tell me, okay, listen, I don't really like that, or I don't want love to be shown to me that way, whatever, that can be a conversation. But I feel like you can't simp once you're dating. I feel like simp shit is single people doing fucked up shit for people that don't want them to be their girlfriend. Like, I feel like simp is single shit. I feel like you have all the women in the world, all the men in the world you could potentially go for or attempt and go for, and you're going for one person who doesn't even fucking want you.
That's why I said it's like your simp is when
your girlfriend wants
that person is the highest priority on your list.
But that's your man or your girl. Yeah. Like, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't.
I get it. No, I get
if that's your boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, there's no limit. No,
hold on. I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. I'm just saying that we've all seen like those one-off relationships
where it's like a little too much.
Where like it almost looks like the guy is like
a slave.
Yeah.
No, I know
that is like simp behavior. Like, come on, like that's bad.
But here's why.
And it's like she
allows it. So that's why I'm like.
But I'm like, do you respect him? That's what if I have to ask. That's okay. That's okay. That's different. I agree with you. But if I see that scenario and I have to ask myself, yo, does she even respect you?
Right.
That's when my mind goes, maybe you're simping too hard.
No, I know. Okay.
Because this is what I think. When you're in the relationship, all of it's simp behavior, like everything. It's simp. Yeah, that's all it is.
You're doing whatever.
But now you just don't get to call me a simp anymore because we're dating.
Right.
If we weren't dating, I'd be a simp.
Yes.
But then there's like levels to it.
So, but okay. So I get that as well. The only part I'll distinguish is that yes, there are mans that look like slaves and just doing whatever for the girl. You're like, yo, this guy's nuts. But the only reason I'm saying I won't be a simp is because in order for it to be a simp, the behavior, in my opinion, has to be rejected. So
I don't think it has to be rejected.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. Man,
simping for women who just take it.
Women will allow it.
Yeah, no, like,
why don't you get buy if you want to do it?
Yeah,
that's true.
But I hear you though. I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it moving.
I ain't gonna simp for nobody out there.
This guy said that I'm selfish and care about my own happiness before anything else. I openly say this all the time. I'm definitely not about he spelled this wrong. I'm definitely not about being an emotional crutch for anyone. Therefore, I am satisfied being single indefinitely.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, if you know that, you know that.
Yeah. Can't tell anybody how to be.
Justine, she said, 1, your words mean nothing if your actions don't follow suit. 2, setting boundaries and sticking to them. 3, self-love and the best love. 4, dated someone with kids. If you're not involved in your children's lives, your own seed, what makes you think he will love you or treat you any better?
This is what she's realizing about herself? Or she just listening stuff?
No, like she listens stuff, but that last one was like the main thing. If you're not involved in your children's lives, your own seed, what makes you think he will love you or treat you any better?
I get the parallel, but it's not always true.
It's not always true. I think it's like very circumstantial. Right. Maybe if there's a situation with
that's what I'm saying. Like you don't know you have no idea why he's not in the life. You don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not giving excuses for men that aren't in their kids' lives, but you can't just be like, oh, because you're not in your kid's life, how do you treat me well? It's like, well,
I like to think she knew this, but
there's baby mom situations, there's restriction situations, there's distance, location.
Yeah.
Who like so many variables to why a man actually isn't like, not because they don't necessarily want to be.
That's very true. We got Jackie. She said, set boundaries and be firm with them. That's very true.
Necessary.
You gotta be absolutely firm with them. Strong with Vanessa. She said, learn to know when to leave and exactly what doesn't work in a relationship. That's good.
Yep.
As you get older, you just fucking every relationship you're in is literally like writing a test.
Yeah. You know they're right. You know when you don't know the answers.
Very true.
I'm just gonna submit this as is.
Yeah.
Like, let's not pretend.
Reckless J, he said that I needed to communicate better and be more willing to express my feelings towards my partner. It's very open. Victoria, she said, know your blueprint. Know the other person's blueprint. Huh. I'm interpreting that like know the person's plan. Like, what do they have?
What they're looking for?
It could be like what they're looking for in terms of a relationship, but also, you know, like, what does this person have planned for the future? Blueprint. Like, what do they have planned? You know, at this stage, we have to be.
You definitely need to know.
You know what I mean, dude?
I definitely need to know.
Can we just take this in for a second? Like, have you like actually really sat down and thought about how different dating is in your early 20s? So like as soon as you hit 27 onward,
like priorities and stuff, and what you're looking
priorities, but just in, like how different dating is. Period.
Just like even like the courting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. This is transactional at this point. I swear, bro. On God, tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Dating at this point is transactional for me. Literally, what am I getting from this? What are you getting? Does it add up? Can you afford it? Can I afford it? Does it make sense? Do I get a receipt? Can I return this? Like, bro, it literally feels like I'm purchasing somebody.
And they're purchasing you.
Yeah, like it's like, this is what I come with. Can you afford this? Do you want this? Yeah, okay. You can afford it? Okay, can I afford you? These are all the features that come to it? Okay. If I'm not happy with it after a little bit, can I just send it back out there? So yeah, hey, sure. Okay.
Dude, it's fucking weird.
Cool, let's try it. Let me put you on a trial. You do your 30-day trial period. And then when your trial period expires and they ask you if you want to extend.
Yeah.
It's like you literally get after 30 days, bro, tell me this is not a fucking truth. After 30 days with a woman, do you or do you not know if you're going to continue? 30 days with any woman.
So in the 30 days, is it just I've known her for 30 days,
just from initial meet,
might have hooked up,
from just whatever the fuck happens, from initial meet of hey, I'm Zamor, to 30 days later, do you or do you not know where the fuck you're putting that person?
Yeah, you do.
100%.
And I like to think women know the exact same thing. Of course. Yeah.
30 days is enough for me to be like, I've known you for a month. We've had sex 3 times. First time was decent. Second time was a little bit better. Third time was, we text here and there. You're kind of funny sometimes. After 30 days, you're like, I might buy out. I might buy out of this contract.
Yeah.
Like, or I'm like, I'm gonna buy in. But you know. You know.
Would you say 30 days is like the safe?
30 days is so safe.
The safe time.
1 month is enough. Like, and it doesn't mean we have to talk every single day. Just 1 month in total time from when I met you. And the thing is, it's perfect because if in 30 days you're like, yo, I've talked to you for 30 days.
Yeah.
You know it's different.
Yeah.
You're like, for 30 days, like if I can scroll my fucking messages or phone calls and we've literally talked for 30 days straight, there's something here. 30 days straight I've talked to you, there's something about you. If it's 10 of the 30 days we talk, 8 of the 30 days, I'm kind of like, you're an afterthought, maybe. Like, you kind like, you know what the fuck you're putting them. If a 30 cumulative days doesn't mean I have to talk to you, just I know in 30 days, what's your report? What have we done the last 30 days with you? We fucked 3 times. We've talked here and there. I only call you at night. You DM me, I DM you sometimes. It's been a month. A month has gone by and I really don't remember you.
Oh my god. No, big point.
On to the next.
Big point.
You look at your next report, you're like, okay, this girl B. We've talked 23 days of the 30 days.
And that's the problem,
Shit.
right? Like when with the current dating landscape, I won't even go as far to say dating apps. I would just say social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like social media in general has made
It's all dating.
it's all dating, and it's like it makes it. You have too many choices. You really do. You know, I'm in those 30 days. You could be talking to someone else. I could be talking to someone else. Like there's always options, and it's like okay, after those 30 days,
Does it fizzle out or does it keep going?
yeah. And if it fizzles out, it's like I can go talk to someone else.
We don't even have enough attention for 30 days. That is what this has shown me.
Yeah.
If you can't keep my attention for 30 days, there's no way we can date. Like, do you know what I mean? You can't keep my attention for 30 days. There's no way we're dating. Like, let's be, and vice versa. If I can't keep yours, like, what are we talking about here? Like, I think that's a perfect value to just be like, if you can't even do this, like, what do we? You can't even keep my attention for 30 days for me to be like, this is boring. 30 days, not even a month, and I'm bored of you. But you want, so where's this going? Nowhere. I'm bored. It's been 17 days and I'm bored of you.
That's crazy. Because it's true though. It makes sense. Oh man. Like
if you think of every girl you've actually dated, you talk for at least 30 days straight. Right? If we're being fucking honest.
Yeah.
Where you've been like, you've looked back and you're like, yo, it's been a month. Fuck, you been talking for a month. And you're like,
pretty much like every
and you're like, yeah, it's been a month. And you're like, shit. And you're like, okay.
Every day.
And you knock off your month, you're like, oh shit, like it's been a month already? Already. That's the feeling you're looking for. Already. It's been a month already with somebody. That's how you know you're clicking.
Yeah.
Especially at this stage.
Yeah, this stage.
I haven't had it already in a while.
Wait, what?
I haven't had an already in a while.
Yeah.
Where I feel like, yo, it's been 30. Like I literally tap out very quickly. I'm like, this is boring.
So you're out before the 30 days even.
I've been out before 30 days.
Yeah.
We've been in COVID for a year.
Yeah.
There's rarely a girl that's lasted 30 days. And I'm like, especially because all you can do is talk right now. So like now it's even heightened.
Yeah.
Because all I can do is talk to you.
Can't go out.
So I need to actually like you for 30 days. That's rough.
Whew. Stuff. Who is this one here? C. She said, one cannot be healthy in an unhealthy situation. Perhaps one has more work than the other, but it took two to accept being in that state / treatment. That makes sense. The work always begins with self. When we look to our intimate relationships to heal old wounds and voids, we sink deeper in them instead of healing them. Work on the self first, then the relationship. I can agree with that. Too many people like going to relationships with some form of like trauma or baggage from their previous relationship and think that by getting with someone who doesn't exhibit those things, it will make them feel better. But it's like, no,
you still need to solve it.
Those problems are still there. You're just now with someone that isn't going to trigger you in that way.
Right. You're just avoiding it.
It's pretty much like, yeah, that's all they're doing. All they're doing is putting on blinders to the issue. This person represents blinders because they're like, I'm never going to trigger you with this. Right. But they might trigger you with something else.
Yeah.
Now what are you going to do? Just walk around with darkness all the time?
It's just a new problem.
Like, what are you going to do?
We'll read one more and then we'll do our own.
This is the last one. Anyway, Shahid. I have learned to appreciate the little things, that I'm not the only person in the relationship, so I shouldn't take it for granted. How to stop comparing us to other people's relationships. That's interesting hearing a guy say that too. The last part.
Guys comparing. Interesting.
Yeah. That's like,
I think guys compare a lot more than they admit.
Probably, but like I don't really like.
No one really says it. In what way?
Yeah, like in what way are we comparing ourselves? I've never done it. Like,
I mean, I'm not actually comparing.
Yeah,
but that's a lie. I can actually admit I've compared before. I've compared when it comes to like things I don't naturally do by myself.
Okay.
So anything I don't naturally do that I've seen other guys do, I've compared mentally.
Okay.
So for example, I'm not big on Valentine's Day. I don't really believe in it like that, but I know women like it. So I'll do it because the woman likes it.
Yeah.
Not because I genuinely want to do something for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So when I see other guys doing stuff for their girls for Valentine's Day, I've definitely been like, oh, like this is something I could do for my girl. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not something I naturally would do. So then I look to other relationships to kind of guide me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I get you.
Like I don't. This isn't something I naturally do. So like, what are guys doing? Like, what are you guys doing for your girl? Oh, he got a teddy bear. He did this. Like, okay, I guess I could. Like, I guess I could try this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I have done it in ways where it's like, if it's something I'm not used to doing, but I wouldn't say I compare my relationship, but I've definitely compared things I could do that I think women would like.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So what have you learned or taken from your last relationship, positive or negatively?
Okay, positive. I learned that someone mentioned it, like if you can communicate like well towards the end, it just makes a breakup a lot easier. And all my previous relationships, they did not end well. So this one is like, okay, it's good. Negatively, I would say that I think this is tough how I would say this. It's two things. One, this relationship made me question my own character judgment, because I think that I'm a really good judge of someone's character, and like this relationship causing me to think, am I actually good?
At picking for yourself.
I'm picking for myself. Am I actually good? And the other thing that it left me kind of dealing with is knowing that you can either change as a person or make adjustments that are actually like good for you as your own person that help the relationship, but then that still might not be enough to make the relationship work. So where that left me thinking sometimes is like well, what's the point? Like, I know that sounds so
like, why did I change for what?
Yeah. Like, what's the point? I also have to be honest with myself and say that, like, for sure, I was not perfect in the relationship. You know, like these are conversations I have with my ex. I'm not afraid to admit it. But I think, honestly, there really is something to age difference. You know, the conversations that I have with someone who is my age, if not older than me, is very different to someone that is younger than me.
I agree with that.
It doesn't matter how mature that
I don't care how
mature they are in terms of life experience, all that type of stuff.
I don't care how mature you are.
Honestly, it's kind of scary how different it is.
I don't care how mature you are. You can tell me, I'm mature for my age. That's fine.
And it's interesting because as a woman,
you just haven't lived enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a woman, I find that, you know,
you weren't even born when I was born. Like even certain things like nostalgic stuff.
Yeah, a lot of women, you know, date older men, a lot older men, and you know, sometimes I have to think like where that comes from, and like why these guys do it, or like why these girls do it. I can speculate all I want, but like, where does that actually come from? Because you guys don't relate on a lot of things outside of fucking. This is like someone that's pretty to you. This guy's like more established in his career. Like these are all things I've heard from women, but it's right.
But how are you connecting? What
are you connecting
with a 41-year-old when you're 29?
Because there's always there's always some conversation that comes up where you're like, oh, like that bothered me when I was your age, but it doesn't now.
Right.
But you're still at that age where it bothers you.
Right.
5 years from now, we'll have the same conversation and you'll be like, oh, that doesn't bother me anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I was there 5 years ago.
Even the statement of you saying at your age puts them in a decreased position.
It puts them in like a weird position.
It's not like you're not doing it for that purpose, but I remember being mad about that when I was your age. It just made it. There's no way to say that without it seeming demeaning. Which it's not. It's not demeaning, but it's like it's the truth.
Think about it now. Like I genuinely hate even having to say that statement.
Yeah. It ages you.
It ages me. I'm like, what? Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
You know. So I think those are the main things. You know, because I'm literally in no rush to get back into another relationship. And it can be challenging because not for nothing, I think like without sounding like very cocky, not for nothing, I know that I'm like easy to like in that perspective in terms of like dating. I know this about myself after talking to like women and seeing like basically what they've been used to versus how I am. And the whole reason for that is because I've been in chronic relationships. You know?
So you know how to talk to them.
Out of my 9 years in my 20s, I've been in a relationship 7.5. Like, you do something long enough, you're gonna get good at it. It is what it is.
And girls can pick up on that easily.
Girls definitely do pick up on that. So
he knows what he's talking about. Oh, he's been in a relationship before.
So I have to be like very aware of these things. And now it's like, okay.
You have to pull back.
Yeah. And
somewhat, like somehow.
You know what I mean?
Without it not being yourself, but at the same time, you're like, I have to pull back because I know what this does.
Because here's the problem, right? The problem is I talked to one of my friends about this, right? And I'm not going to name who it is because I don't want to put him on blast. But basically the question is, you know, I think in my own way, I'm very toxic. And it's because, you know, I am not the type of person that like I know that I can sleep with women and like still talk to them. Like I know I can sleep with women, know that I don't want to date them, communicate that I don't want to be in a relationship, but like still talk to them like after. You know, like just like treat them with basic respect. But the problem with that is a lot of these women are not used to that. They're used to dealing with men on the other spectrum where they say all those same things, but like you do not hear from me until it's time to smash again.
Right. Like why is he still talking during the week?
It's not even that like why is he still talking to me? It's more so like if they message me, I was fine.
Like at any time.
I'd respond. I'd be like, I saw it. Okay, what's up?
Yeah.
Have a conversation with you, keep it moving.
And most guys in that situation aren't responding unless it is what it is.
Yeah. And I'm recognizing like how in that own way it's toxic because they know like people will know. Like I've said this openly before, like it just is what it is. Like I'm not that type of guy and I make that clear. But that doesn't mean go catching feelings.
Can't control that part.
I can't control that part. Like, so it's like when you say it's about, you know, I gotta find this balance without still being me. Because the alternative is we would do shit and then I would say,
I'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'll see you next time.
I mean, that's what I do.
I know, but they're not used. That's not me. It's never been me. And the problem with that is because I've been in relationships for so long.
So you're not even used to doing that.
I'm used to doing that. So I'm just trying to navigate,
tone it down,
see what's going on. You know, what about you? What's yours?
The last breakup actually showed me that I'm capable of making emotional decisions.
Okay,
which is not something I've ever.
You're capable of doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is not something I've ever done or been used to doing. And the reason I say that is because I got into a relationship while I was injured.
Yeah.
So that was
during last summer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was solely an emotional decision. I wasn't myself. I wasn't in the greatest mindset, mentally, physically, obviously.
Yeah.
And I ended up in a relationship because I was enjoying somebody while I was going through something.
Yeah, the company throughout this whole situation.
You know, and like it sounds bad, but I mean that's literally what happened. Mind you, I've never been in that situation before, so like that would never happen otherwise. But that's what happened. I was in a situation that I've never been in before. Didn't really know how to cope with not being able to do what I wanted to do anymore, not be able to walk in the middle of a pandemic and racial issues and all this stuff all at once.
All these things going on.
And this girl appears and she's seemingly great, but also all my emotions are all over the place. And I end up in something that I don't necessarily want to be in, but felt like I wanted to be in. You know, so I definitely learned that if I'm ever to be in a situation like that again, where my emotions aren't necessarily stable or whatever, I definitely have to be very aware about who I'm talking to and how and what I'm allowing during those times, if they're accurate or not.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So it's a conversation I had with someone the other day, and it's like, I don't think that part of the reason I know that I do not want to get in a relationship anytime soon is because I feel like anything that I'm going through emotionally or mentally, I don't even want to get into a relationship with someone if I'm not at least like 95% good with everything I've
handled.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's not even to say that I don't have things like handled the way that I like. It's just
you just want to feel confident.
I don't like the idea of, because in my last relationship, you know, I didn't go into it with shit, but what ended up happening is shit happened while we were dating throughout it.
Yeah.
And
it changed the dynamic.
And I was with someone who was part of that. So they essentially became a crutch and I became their crutch. And now, after having experienced that, I don't want to get in a relationship if I know that said person is going to be a crutch for me in certain areas. Like, I literally don't want to look at a partner and be like, you're a crutch for me mentally or emotionally.
Right. What was your question?
Do you feel that same way?
Like with that situation?
Yeah.
I mean, yes. But I mean, that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I think it was more difficult for me because I've never needed that.
Yeah.
Ever. You know, I've never.
Yeah.
And I mean never needed to rely on a girlfriend for anything. Do you understand how crazy that is?
Yeah.
I'm 30 and I have many girlfriends in my life and not one girlfriend have I ever had to rely on for something.
Yeah.
It's always been Ryan does his own thing. He takes care of everything. If he needs me, maybe he'll ask. He probably won't ask, but I'll offer.
Yeah.
Versus I literally need your help. I need you to help me walk. I need you to help me with this. I need and not because I actually want to ask you, because I actually need to ask you. I need it. You know, so she definitely became that out of convenience, out of situation, circumstance, all these things. And I couldn't get control of it.
Yeah.
And it caught me up in something that wasn't a bad relationship.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's just you realize
that's just not what I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
The rational me didn't necessarily want to do that. So I definitely learned and am learning that if I'm ever in a low state like that or anything near that not necessarily pull away from people, but definitely don't enter something. You know what I mean? Like that's not the answer.
And that makes a lot of sense.
That's not the answer.
Yeah.
I can have people around me, cool. If people want to help me out, great, but don't catch feelings and don't not those feelings. Those aren't accurate for you. Especially because I know me. Like whatever you're feeling right now, if you think you love her or whatever, you think you're like, you don't. This is not accurate for you. You know this. Now I know this. Because at the time I felt like, oh, this feels good. Like maybe this is no. This is your emotions are fucked. Like, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing though. That takes I feel like it takes having gone through a situation like that to understand the emotional awareness behind it.
100%.
Because when you're in it, you don't know. And now that we've both been through something like that, now you know, oh, okay. Let me take a step back for a second. Do I actually really like this person, love them, or am I just
fucked up?
Am I fucked up?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like, am I fucked up, or am I just sprung, essentially? Jesus, man, it's tough, bro. Like, relationships are...
It's constant learning experiences.
They're constant learning experiences, and they're also fucked. Like, I know for some people it's easy. I know for some people it's really hard. It's different. Like, no two relationships are the same, but dog, like, just the way that I think about relationships now versus, like I said, in my early 20s is very different.
Yeah.
You know, before it's like, oh, we attracted to each other, sure. Like, is sex good? Yeah. I guess we're dating now.
Let's do it.
But now, like, that's what it was. I guess we're dating now. We talk all the time. It's cool. Now it's like those first two things can be true. Do we talk a lot? Yeah. Is the sex good? Yeah.
So, do I like you?
Do I want to date? No.
Do you bring anything to my life? Are you helping me?
But it's not even just that, bro. Like, think about single life, right? Single life. I had conversations about this the other day too. It's like, what does that even... Everyone's definition of single life looks very different. So for some people, it's, you know, sleep around with a lot of people. For some people, it's figuring out your own self, discovering yourself. You might not even sleep with anyone. Mm-hmm. And the other people, it could be a combination of the two. You sleep with some people, but like...
Work on yourself on the side.
Yeah. You're working on yourself, but you know that sleeping with people doesn't mean we got a date now.
Right. Yeah. So what?
You know, but it's just fucking weird, bro. Like,
yeah.
Just trying to figure out everyone's perspectives on it and dating and all this bullshit.
I would say a positive thing I took from that relationship though was I really learned, and yeah, I really learned and figured out mandatory things
you needed
that I needed. And it's not as long as a list as I used to think it was.
Do you want to share what they are?
Yeah.
What are the mandatory things that Ryan needs?
Number one that was up there that stands out that wasn't in that last one.
Yeah.
Is a mandatory shared sense of humor with my partner. Okay. Like, I can't sway on that even a little bit.
Gotta be the same.
It just it's something like, I thought it was so dumb. Like, yeah, like doesn't have to be that serious. Like, a couple jokes they say doesn't have to be that funny. Like, no, like I have to think you're funny, man.
Yeah.
I actually need to think my girlfriend is funny. I need it. I need to look at you and be like, yo, you're actually fucking funny. Like, I need that. Some guys might not need it. Some guys might be, oh, my girl's not that funny. No, I actually need to look at my girl and be like, my girl's pretty funny. Fuck. Like, okay. Like, I need it. Because when I didn't have it, it really was loud.
Yeah. How much it bothered you?
Oh, man. Like, it was so loud. And I never heard it that loud in my mind before that. I'm like...
The fact that you said it loud is killing me.
Bro, I'm like, you actually need to, like... You need to be comfortable enough to send your girl anything and know that she just gets it. And you're like, yes, you get it. Move on with her day. Like...
But that wasn't the case.
It just wasn't.
Oh,
it just wasn't.
Oh, boy.
Sense of humor is definitely mandatory. I need titties.
Okay.
Like, bro, it's not even. Okay. It's not even negotiable.
Okay.
I need titties.
Okay.
I honestly used to think like, oh, they could be, doesn't have to be that. No.
I knew this though.
Everyone that knows me knew this. Like my cousin knew everyone. They're like, so anytime anyone saw me with someone that didn't have big titties, they're just like, it's not gonna work.
I knew this about you.
And I'm like, it can't be that serious.
No,
like,
it's that obvious though.
how?
What do you mean how? You have a track record. There you go.
But I thought I could go without it.
No, you can't. So what else? What else?
Oh, man.
Humor, titties, and what's the last
humor,
thing?
titties, and what was it? Oh, humor, titties, and appreciation for TV and film.
Okay. Yeah,
I watch a lot of movies and shows. And do you know how annoying it is when you're watching something that you enjoy and the person doesn't really get it?
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a relationship with somebody, like, that has to be like this. There's so many moments you're just going to be home. Let's just throw something on, or something comes out. And like, if you're excited, but they're not.
Yeah.
Like, you can only do that so many times before you're like, you know what? I don't want to watch anything with you. And it honestly sounds so rudimentary. Like, it sounds like, oh, it's just TV. Like, but it isn't.
It isn't.
Like, especially if it's something that's large to you. Like, I'm obviously, both of us are in that type of industry and stuff. And like, I generally love watching well done plots and movies and thought provoking stuff. Like, if the person's not into that, it just creates a disconnect between another way you can bond with them.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that.
Like, yeah, it's so simple, but it's like those type of, like, I know you've experienced it in ways where, like, how many times you watch a show and that's created conversations from it, positive or negative, but like, but you can discuss something because you're both into it.
Yeah, if you can't have that, then it's like, oh, okay, that's weird. I'm never watching this shit with you again. Like now I have to watch it in secrecy. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I get it.
And then like, you can't watch it alone because you're both together. So like, now when I get to watch it when you're sleeping, like, now I can't watch it because you don't want to watch it. So now I have to adjust my enjoyment for watching TV because I'm taking up the TV while you're home. Now I can't watch. Like, what? Nah, we got like the same shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So those are the three.
Those are three things I've learned that are really mandatory.
Okay.
That I thought they were just stupid. I honestly thought they were stupid. That's how much it showed me that what I literally thought was just being extra, or actually things like, no, you
need these.
You actually need these.
Okay. That's interesting.
So, yeah.
I'll think about mine.
Is there anything you think that was just it's not a big deal, but it actually fucking is? Like, you thought it,
like what they do, what they do for me. Like, before, I never used to stress hard, like, because as guys, we don't grow up thinking I need to find a woman who's doing this or like doing that,
right?
Blah blah blah. But like now, like, okay, keeping it real.
Keep it real. Mine are.
Yeah,
I love titties.
I know.
Like, but it's true. It's just what it is.
Keeping it real. Like, talking to homegirl Lauren the other day, and she's like, "What's your type?" It's like, do you have a type? And I was like, every girl I've dated has been different. Like, they've all been different. Not one is the same. But then I was like, yo, I think I'm into fitness checks. I was like, I think I'm into fitness checks. But then
my type, lifestyle type.
But then I took a deeper dive. I'm not into fitness checks. I'm into disciplined women. That's what I'm into.
It could be anything. But
anything.
But just be disciplined.
If you're disciplined, like, that is what turns me on.
I agree.
The reason I thought I was into fitness checks
because they're disciplined people.
Because they're disciplined. Like, they have to be to look the way that they do.
It's not the fitness.
Like, it's not that. It's just their attitudes. That's a mandatory thing for me. I can't. If you come across to me like you're
wishy-washy, like sometimes do stuff, I don't really,
that will definitely bother me. Like, I can't get past
I'm lazy today. I don't really feel like it.
Before I used to be able to get past it. Now I can't.
So laziness doesn't work.
Yeah, it does not work at all. Doesn't work.
Like, get it done. I don't care.
You know what I mean? It does not work. So what's that? If we're being honest, like,
we're always
objectively,
being on.
Like, objectively, if we're talking like how a woman looks physically, the only thing that is actually a non-negotiable for me, non-negotiable, that's crazy. The only thing is they have to have a nice ass. To me, that's it.
That's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad. That's the only thing.
It is, no.
I know, because like I don't really talk like this on the podcast, but that's the only thing. Only thing. That's it. Like
you know when it's not there, you know this.
I know. I'm not picky.
Are we not like? Are
yeah.
you, when it's not there, do you know this?
I'm not picky. I'm not a picky person, but I know this about myself because, you know,
you're double tapping.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm in like
I'm double tapping.
And I'm just like I'm always like I just think about the environments that I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm just surrounded by
ass.
Physically elite women, like a lot.
By ass.
Right? So naturally it's what I see and I'm like, oh, okay, like this is probably what I like.
Right.
So
but when it's not there,
when it's not there, I notice it's no different. Like women are objectifying me too. I get it. Like it is what it is. So I think, yeah, that's a thing for me. So basically, if you're disciplined, if you got a nice butt, and the last thing would probably be,
it could be the stupidest thing. Something you're like, this is dumb, but I fucking like it. Like this is it is.
Okay, so this is the thing. Honestly, you have to be kind, but I fucking love girls who have a potty mouth, like they swear.
Really?
I love that shit. I don't know.
That's different.
It is different, but
really?
I find it mad uncomfortable. I swear like a sailor, bro. And that's because I learned this shit from my mom.
Okay.
I learned to swear from my mother. My dad,
my mom swears a lot too.
I barely heard swear.
Yeah.
My mom used to swear all the time. So that's where I learned the shit from. So just it's normal to me. But I've like met a girl or two
that doesn't swear at all.
At all.
And you're
I've never heard them say a single like swear word. And I'm like, this makes me feel kind of weird.
Do you
like,
stop swearing too? Because they're not.
Yeah, I stop swearing around them because I'm like, yo, am I weird? Like,
but do you address it? You just acknowledge it.
I just acknowledge it. I don't address it. I don't address it.
I've been there.
You can't at this stage in life. I can't address it with you. I can't be like, why do you not swear?
You can't.
You're set in your ways.
No, so but like, not even. But I don't even mean question her. I mean like. Do you even acknowledge like, oh, like I noticed you don't swear? Like, do you even say anything about it, or you just know that in your head they've never sworn, so I should probably stop?
Yeah,
as well.
I know it in my head. I don't say it out loud.
That's actually so fucking funny.
But a girl, I don't know why, but if a girl swears, not like
no, just
like a sailor,
you're just more comfortable. You're just like, oh,
I'm like a little bit more comfortable with you. But if you don't swear,
bro.
I'm like.
Bro, okay. That's actually something I never actually thought about, but that's so fucking funny. It's funny because I've been in situations literally like that where I was swearing and they weren't. And like, you actually start to notice how many times you're swearing.
Yeah.
Because they're not.
So
like when it comes out, I'm just like, oh, I was just fucked. And I'm like, fuck, they said fucked. And like especially because they're replacing swearing words with something else or just different words in general. And you're like, nothing's coming out of your mouth yet.
Like, you know what it is? I know it's a red flag when they don't even call it swear words. They call it curse words.
Not curse
You know what I'm talking about. Whenever I've heard...
Do you have to curse? Curse?
He just curses all the time.
Curses! Oh my God.
No.
You're so pure. You're so pure.
I can't be with you.
You're too pure for me.
I won't even be able to corrupt you.
I'm sorry, I'm hell.
You know what I mean? Like I won't even, this is where we play. We play in hell over here.
This is hell. That's funny. That's a big one. I never thought about that. I'm gonna have to add that.
Like I like girls who are nice, but they just swear. They swear.
They're just comfortable enough that a fuck or two comes out.
Yeah. I don't know why. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you why I like it so much.
It just means they're not uptight to you. In your mind, you're like,
it could be. I need to find out like just psychological meaning behind this. Because it's not like, it's not even like I like it in
professional
a sexual
settings.
Way or pervasive way. It's not.
No,
like,
you're just saying, it's just comfort. You're just like, I feel like I feel like I can be me around you.
Yeah. Like I find it sometimes hilarious when like some girl swears. So I'm like, oh, okay. This is sick. Like I like this.
Sick. I like it.
I like this.
Keep it up. Oh man, that's funny. All right, noted. Yeah, I think we're good. It's a good way to hop back on the scene.
Yeah, man.
I want to discuss something, but I'm just like, you know what? Not even to bother. I'm sure some of you by now, I'll just go into briefly, but sure some of you by now heard me as the ATL guy from Toronto, flew to ATL for a girl, blah, blah. Let me just clear that up. Let me just clear that once and for all. I flew to ATL for a beautiful girl. Beautiful, beautiful girl. But not only for her. There was work out there also did. But yes, I did fly out to see this girl. Beautiful. Didn't work out just because it wasn't the same vibe I got over the phone. That's all that happened. We're good. She's good. I'm good. But social media took it a completely different place and decided to slander me for 2 weeks straight. I stayed silent. I didn't respond to anything. And yeah, that's all that happened. So much so that it got to a point where Zamora was thrown into a room where they're also slandering me and I wasn't even in it. And apparently they wanted Zamora to stop doing the podcast.
I almost got fucking
so
canceled.
I don't know what that's about, but
I need to go off for a second. Okay. So, I'm not going to tell. First off, I'd be shocked if any of the people who don't fuck with you are even listening to this or care. Like, I don't think they are.
And if you are, you're fucked, dude.
Which is fine. Okay, so let me get to the point.
Yeah.
Right. The point is this. I said numerous times that, like, as much as I love Clubhouse, it's just not normal in the sense of being able to, like, communicate with that many people at one time if you don't know how to moderate, right? So people can have their opinions and all this shit. But one of the things that I brought up in the room the following morning, I was just saying, like,
I wasn't even in this room.
Yeah, he wasn't in this room. But I'm basically saying, what is the purpose of this conversation? Because said person that you have an issue with is not in the room to hear the feedback. So we're all just kind of like talking amongst ourselves, essentially gossiping, but we're all talking amongst ourselves with no real solutions. The solutions were, this is more, you should leave the podcast, or like you should have conversations with your friend. I'm like, we've all had conversations with our friends about the shit, but it is what it is. Like, we're all different. And for me, now I started to see people on Twitter talk about it the other day. I saw Marlon tweet about how, like, and I'm not going to mention her name, but these people said at a certain point, you got to stop entering certain rooms knowing that it's going to trigger you. Or it's going to
purpose.
On purpose. I don't get it. Like, I genuinely don't understand. Something bothers you, and you know that you're not going to be able to have the type of conversation you want to have about it. Why enter the room? Why entertain the conversation? Because all it's doing is literally just making you sick, like, mentally. That's all it is. I'm not saying, like, on like a deeper level. I'm just saying it's literally not good for your own mental health to be engaging in shit that you know that you do not like.
Right.
And you try to justify it by saying these conversations are healthy. It's what's needed. No, they're not. You know what's healthy? Like, not dealing with those conversations in the first place.
Right.
Every day there's gonna be, like, people, things, conversations, there's gonna be things that you do not like or that don't like you, right? And you can't always change those things. You can have conversations about it. If the conversation doesn't go anywhere, that should be a sign, right? And it's like, now it's come up with this whole, every day there's like some shit about Toronto men are trash, tomorrow blah blah blah. Like, on one hand, I get it, because, like, it seems to be that, like, a lot of these idiots are coming out saying shit. So it's like they're just really showing their ass.
Reckless shit.
Saying a bunch of reckless shit. So of course they look like ass, right? But then on the flip side, I'm seeing people saying, like, I saw some girls saying, it's not up to me as a woman to, like, fix your issues, right? It's up to you and your boys. First off, I agree with you. It's not up to the girl. You can't be the emotional crutch. But it's also not up to the boys either. Like,
it's up to him.
It's up to him. Like,
right.
Everyone needs to deal with their own shit. You're a grown man. I'm a grown man. It's not your responsibility to fix my shit and vice versa. All right? We'll have conversations about shit, but it's no different than it's not my responsibility to fix another woman's shit that she's going through, especially at this age. You got to figure that shit out yourself.
Right.
So that's a long rant to basically just say, if you know something triggers you,
stop.
Don't get involved with it. Just don't. For what? Like, for why? There's no reason why it makes sense.
Other than you want to.
You want to. And you know what? I think part of it has to do with COVID.
Oh, 100%.
People are cooped up. They're fucking bored.
Looking for activities.
Like, there's nothing to do. Things are driving them crazy. And it's like, none of this is helping me. And I know for a fact, if COVID wasn't a thing right now, you would not be out here like this, getting upset constantly.
No.
It's a weekly basis thing.
Every day it's something.
Every week I'm seeing people getting so fucking triggered by certain things. And I'm like, yo, the block button is free.
Stop looking at it. If that bothers
How are you talking shit about me and saying that you don't follow me on Twitter? You don't follow me on these apps, but then you stay subtweeting about me and certain incident that comes up. How does that make sense?
You're talking about you in general?
I'm talking about like in general.
We're talking about me.
In general.
Oh, yeah, well, that happens to me every day. But
like, how does that make sense?
You don't even follow me. How am I on the top of your mind every day and you don't follow me? And you don't like me? Like, go to bed.
Wash your ass and go to bed.
God damn. Go to bed. Drink some water. You're breaking out.
And this is the thing, bro. Like, I say all of this, and I'll say it right now because I know how shit can get twisted. I'm saying all of this not under the premise of I hate these people or I dislike them. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like, you've given me no reason to actually despise you or hate you or dislike you.
In fact, I don't even know you.
I don't know you in real life, but it's like, I actually don't have a reason to hate you. But what I do care about, even though I don't know you, oddly enough, is your mental health and the fact that every day there is something going on for you to get angry about. And I know you're not working out on the regular. So you're just sitting at home getting angry and all that tension's building up in your neck. You're just walking around like this all the time. Like, stop it.
Tweeting.
God damn. Getting angry and tweeting. Stop it. Go for a walk. That's that.
Until next week, guys. We're back on this shit. I'm tired of people. I actually don't even like people. The more I talk about this stuff, I actually don't really like that many people. I have a handful of you guys. Handful of you niggas. Until next week, guys. See y'all.
All right. Peace.
Hello? We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk.